Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm bringing you here briefly this afternoon just to try to persuade you of the importance of reporting child abuse and child neglect. This subject rings dear to me because I work in a crisis receiving center, and we see children that are abused, angry, neglected every single day, and it's a sad situation. So I want you guys to understand the importance of reporting any child abuse that you may have suspicion of or that you may witness. You can contact your local CPS. And what I would like to do is explain to you how I come up with this thesis. I do that by in three ways. One, I'll explain to you the stats of our children that's abused and neglected. Two, I will describe some of the ways, the terrible ways that children suffer from abuse and neglect. And three, I'll explain any possible end results of abuse and neglect to our children. So I'll go back to my main topic, one, and we're going to talk about the stats. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reported that children from birth to age 1 are the highest ranked percentage of children in 2011 for neglected and abused stats. The stats was like 21 and 2 per 1,000 of the same group of this national population. It was split between both sexes. I believe that the boys were 48.6%, where the girls came in at 51.1%, and the other number was of unknown sexes. But these numbers are terribly alarming. 87% were composed of the three races, ethnicities. The African American came in at 21.5%. The Hispanics came in at 22.1%, and the white Americans came in at a 43.9%. 43.9% of the white American children were reported abused and neglected in 2011, according to the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And that leads me to topic number 2, my main topic number 2, which says there are several ways that children are abused or neglected. Despite our normal belief that, it's just physical abuse, is more than physical abuse. Although 17.5% are physically abused, there are 9% of sexual abuse going on. 78.5% of our children are neglected. That means they're deprived from their food, clothes, and shelter. So they end up in the status of abused and neglected children. Now I want to talk about the number of problems these abused children can face. I studied Dr. Babel, who's a psychologist. She did a paper on abused and neglected children, and her statement really touched or rang true to me. It says children may be separated from their parents from abuse only to go into another area of abuse, such as a foster home or a group home, and they can receive abuse from other children or the adults. So it makes you ask yourself, what option does this neglected and abused child really have? They can end up with major psychological damage, depression, isolation, schizophrenia, etc., with these mental health issues or mental health diseases. In 2011, when Dr. Babel wrote this report, I can almost imagine how these children were feeling then. And we know that this is 2013, so the numbers have just spread even more. But the sad part is, according to the National Center for Child and Death Services, more than 2,000 children die fatalities each year from abuse and neglect. That is just absolutely awful. So I say all this, or give you all these facts to encourage you that if you ever witness or have suspicion that a child is being abused, neglected on any level, you have a responsibility to contact your local CPS, which is the Child Protective Services Department. Contact them. Just give them your suspicion. It is so important that these children have a chance to live some type of normal and safe and secure life. And I encourage you to do that. And I say all this because in studying this communications class, in the speech communication book published by Dr. Altman, he states that God values the family, and God values the family, and he also values these children. And when we say that God values the family and he values the children, I think about scripture, Proverbs 22:6, which says that a parent has the responsibility to train up these children in the way they should go in the admonition of the Lord. And when you abuse or take their innocence from them through neglect or through physical abuse or through sexual abuse, those things are not the things that God values. He values you loving your family. He values us as other citizens helping protect his children. Because what you do unto the least of these little ones, he says, we do that unto him. So, not to take up too much more of your time, I just want to say thank you for listening and encourage you, persuade you, please, if you notice, witness, or see any type of abuse or think that there's abuse, contact your local CPS. It is very important. Thank you for your time.